Hey everyone, welcome back to I Just Watched. I'm Joseph. We're about to discuss the Rings of Power episode 7, the penultimate. We're almost done with the first season. Before we jump into it, I gotta hit you with the usual, which is hopefully you like this enough to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell to get notified. Before I forget, of course, spoiler warning if you haven't seen the episode. Prince Doran. I love that dude, bro. Like, his character, the way they're doing him, he's the only character that, like, truly stands out consistently that I really like. He's my favorite character of the show so far, no question. Everyone else, to me, is kind of bland. I do love Elendil. I think he's really good. The girl who's playing Gladro, she's good, but it's the writing of the character that I'm not like diving into. I'm not falling for yet. Pushing on, we see the destruction, post-destruction of the Southlands now becoming Mordor. I mean, we get at the end, it says the Southlands, and then it becomes Mordor. And I was like, like we knew that. It's not like that big of a moment. It's not like, oh shit. The show hasn't enticed me enough. Because if it would have pulled me in and I would have loved this show from the jump, because I think it's okay at best, but if I would have been like, oh shit, this show's amazing, when I saw that, I'd be like, Mordor, I would have been like, oh fuck yeah, like we're getting there. But now I was kind of like, yeah, alright, whatever. You know, that's how I felt when I saw that. I was like, cool. But besides that, you haven't pulled me in to the point where I'm like, oh shit, that yes. Feel bad for the queen, she blind now. Also, when Elendil finds out, and she's like, I see. The first thing I said to myself was like, no bitch, you don't. That's not important, but it made me laugh. One of the biggest things about this episode that threw me was, I understand, of course, the attempt to make it seem like Isildur is dead. You know, he's not. He's the one who takes his daddy's broken sword and cuts off the finger and then fucks up by not destroying the ring. But more so, the fact that they're attempting to kill off Celeborn, Gladriel's husband. Like, we'll see him probably in the second season for some reunion or whatever. Go for someone who we don't know is, for one, extremely important to the lore, and if either one of these two characters dies during the series, it completely changes everything to come. I mean, no, Celeborn, they don't have kids. Elrond doesn't get married. We don't get Arwen. Isildur doesn't make it. He doesn't chop off Sauron's hand. We lose. Playing with two characters who are extremely vital to give us that they're dead, for me, it doesn't work because clearly they can't be. The show is doing whatever it wants with the lore, which is, I mean, it is what it is at this point, but they try to say a character who's dead was someone, you know, from the show. Like, maybe they couldn't fight Hellbrand, so he's dead, and be like, okay, you know what, he's supposed to be the king of the South. Like, that's a little bit more in the air. Some of the newer characters that they're introducing or something like that, I think that would have sold me more on the idea of like, oh, are they dead? They could be, we don't know. Versus two extremely very powerful and vital characters, they're dead. Another thing about the show that's keeping me from immersed, you know, the way like Lord of the Rings or even The Hobbit. I enjoy The Hobbit. I know it's not the greatest, but I still enjoy it. This one, I'm watching it. I'm not driven to watch it as much. This episode felt such a big like backpedal because the episode 6 was like the first glimpse of what could be a great show. Not just because of the battle, but the way it went down. I was like, oh, this is interesting, this is enticing. So I was like, okay, you know what? This one episode is a bit of a game changer. And then this one kind of took steps back, and I was like, oh, okay, so I can better relate this to She-Hulk, where She-Hulk had a couple good episodes, a bunch of bad, and then a good episode. I'm watching it, but I'm not loving it. I'm not enticed. I'm not in it. I'm not caring for these characters as much as I should. Also, lastly, the Balrog. I should have been like, oh shit, it's the Balrog, but I'm like, it's kind of like super early, right? We're still in the second age. That mountain doesn't get destroyed until the third age. When I saw the Balrog, I was like, I know it's there. You didn't have to show me the Balrog. We know eventually this show, I would figure, is gonna end when they defeat, or right before they defeat Sauron, so getting into, you know, basically the beginning of the third age. So I figured we'd see the fall of the mountain of the dwarf kingdom within because of the Balrog, and I figured we'd get there, but like they showed it to us at the end of the first season and nothing's happened yet. We got one episode left, and this show is called The Rings of Power, but the rings aren't even being created yet. They're not even discussed yet. They're not even an idea on the show yet, and we're about to be done with this season. So you're telling me episode 8 they're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna make these rings. The end. Come back for season 2. It is what it is. I want to hear your thoughts. I'm not loving it. It's okay. I would have preferred to watch something else. I've said it before, and this is the best way for me to describe it. The reason I keep watching, the reason that really brings me back, isn't my love for the show. It's not parts of the show that I'm like, oh shit, I have to see this. It's truly my own personal love for the lore that is Middle Earth and the Lord of the Rings and all that. That's the real driving force for me to watch this. But I want to hear your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below. We got one episode left. But until next time, stay safe. Be well. Adios.